Welcome to Peggy's Place. I'm Leanne Lindsay, your host today, as Peggy is going to be out for a bit. And I am going to be talking with a young woman from Petaluma in just a bit. She's going to tell us all about her business there, which is a bakery. And it is the end of Hispanic Heritage Month. One of the reasons we will be having her on is a young entrepreneur. And that's coming up in just a moment again. And before I get into that show, we are going to cover a few announcements real quick. And we are live on YouTube right now. So go to YouTube and look up KGUA Public Media Station, and you will find us there. You'll be able to watch the show. You can see that I'm going to be speaking with this young woman here. And we are on 88.3 FM, streaming around the world at kgua.org. All right, this Thursday, Point Arena and Walala, OptumServe is going to be doing COVID testing Thursdays, 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. in Point Arena at the City Hall, and in Walala, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. at the Community Center. So if you need to get a COVID testing, that will be every Thursday, apparently, on the South Coast for a while. And then coming up this weekend, we have lots of great events that are happening, starting with the monthly pay and take and the Walala Farmers Market on Saturday morning. And that will be from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. for the pay and take, and 9:30 to 12:30 p.m. for the farmers market. And Walala Art Center has so much going on this weekend. They have 2 art openings and an afternoon open air concert. So starting with the first art opening, they have a new exhibit called River Wild, featuring works by the Pointless Sisters Art Quilt Group of Sonoma County in Coleman Hall. Artists will be in the gallery from 2 to 4 p.m. to talk about their art. And masks are required. Exhibit runs through November the 7th, and it will be open from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. for both art openings, and the open air concert is from 4 to 6 p.m. The second art opening is a new exhibit called Pacific Peacemakers Quilt Guild Challenge Show, featuring works inspired by the 2021 theme Flying Free. And this is in the Elaine Jacob Foyer and Burnett Gallery. And then the open air concert, it's called Local Eyes, or Local Eyes Presents Musical Living, a concert with band, the open air with Carl Young, Tim Muller, Chris Doring, and Gabriel Yanez. And that is going to be in the amphitheater starting from 4 o'clock to 6 p.m. at the Walala Arts Center. Now, moving on to a couple of things about food and what's happening and available for food on our coast. The Sweet Life Bakery is back and open again this week. They are serving also gluten-free and vegetarian dishes today, and they are on a sliding scale, which is awesome for our community. For those who are struggling to be able to find food, this is a great opportunity, and for everyone. You can order by about 9 o'clock right now. You can call them, and then you pick up at noon. And today it is tofu over basmati rice. Tomorrow it's penne with pasta with pesto. And Thursday, asparagus risotto. That's a good one. Friday, they've got sushi bowls. And that it will do it for Sweet Life. I know with the Coastal Seniors, they've got their monthly menu out, and I am looking for that. I had it earlier. Well, you can go onto their website, coastalseniors.org, and find out what they've got going. Okay, I've got it here. So coming up on October, so this is next Monday. I can't believe it is October, but it is. It will be chicken parm, yum, with Parmesan breaded chicken breast, penne pasta marinara, and steamed broccoli. And then they've got a tuna sandwich and clam chowder on Tuesday, and lots more. They have such good meals that they prepare there for our seniors and disabled adults. Call by 4 p.m. the day prior to order a meal or schedule delivery. Delivery is for seniors and disabled adults only. You can also call them at 707-882-2137. That's 707-882-2137. And just real quick, I'll give you the number for the Sweet Life Bakery as well. That's 707-225-8844. That's 707-225-8844. And then let's see what else. There was something else here on the calendar that I needed to talk about. Of course, how can I forget? Coming up at the end of October, and something that we are preparing for all month. We are doing a week-long ocean life symposium with Scott and Tree Mercer of Mindanao Whale and Seal Study. They have put together an amazing list of people who are going to be talking to us 3 hours each day, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon. And some of them are Helen Killeen of the Bodega Bay Marine Lab, UC Davis, Jen Kennedy of Blue Ocean Society, Bill Keener of the Marine Mammal Center in Sausalito, Michael Stalker of the Ocean Conservation Research, Sarah Grimes of the Noyo Center for Marine Science and Cal Academy of Sciences, Sarah Bogard, citizen scientist. If you would like to be a sponsor of this event, you know who to call. That's me, Leanne Lindsay. You just get in touch with me and I will step you through the different sponsorships that we've got for this great Ocean Life Symposium. And now we are going to move into our show with Veronica Herico. And she is going to be talking to us about her time during the pandemic and how she was able to keep her business going and thriving. She got a grant from SIA Scotch Whiskey, one of the first Scotch whiskey brands to ever be founded by a Hispanic person. And they launched the Entrepreneurial Spirit Fund by SIA Scotch, a program donating $250,000 in grants to small business owners of color as part of SIA Scotch Whiskey's longstanding support of multicultural entrepreneurs. She is Latinx, she's in Petaluma, she's a Puerto Rican Filipino first generation American, the owner and head baker of Pane de Vero. And I hope that you can now join us, Veronica, and tell us more about your bakery and who you are to our audience here. Thank you for joining us on Peggy's Place.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. That was a really awesome intro. So I'm sure I can, I'll try to add to that. But yeah, so my name is Veronica, as you mentioned. I'm half Puerto Rican, half Filipino, Latinx, and a recipient of the SIA Entrepreneurial Spirit Fund grant, which just went live just a few weeks ago. So it's all very new still. Super exciting. But yeah, so a little bit about me and my business. Pane de Vero is a small cottage bakery that I run out of my home, actually. And we dub ourselves as an artisan bread delivery service. So we actually started in the middle of the pandemic in response to a need that I saw. I had been kind of apprenticing as a artisan bread baker for, I would say at that time, it had been about 2 years. And I was in the middle of like a career change and knew I wanted to start a business of some sort, but didn't know. What was that?
You left your corporate world and you went backpacking around Europe.
Yes, I did. So yeah. So before I even entered the bread world, I had been working as a public relations professional out of San Francisco, specializing in technology communications. And that was great. Oh my gosh, small world.
I was in the 1990s. That was a while ago.
Yeah, so I had been doing that job for about 5 years, and it was great, and I learned a ton about the corporate world. But I just kind of felt that it wasn't right for me. So I decided to take a year off. I quit my job and just decided to start backpacking around the world and get in touch with myself and just I don't know, live it unconventionally for a while and.
Yeah, I think a lot
of see how that
would do that if they ever get a chance, because it's really eye-opening and you learn a lot about yourself as well as other cultures. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And so, I mean, for just a little, I went to a lot of different countries, but I spent my time across Europe, Southeast Asia, and then I ended up in South America. So I just really got to experience so many different things. From that, I spent a lot of time, I joined Workaway, which is sort of like a work stay program for travelers and stuff. So you essentially kind of volunteer your time and join a community and do some work, and they repay you in essentially like lodging and food, right? So there's no real exchange of money. It's just an exchange of services. And in that time, I was really fortunate. I was able to work on a farm in northern Italy for several months.
That is awesome. Work away.
Oh, it's so cool.
Wow. I have
Yeah.
heard of that. That's a great thing, an opportunity for people to
Yes.
participate. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you join a community and you get to really embed yourself in that community and feel like you're a part of it. So, when I was working on this farm, I mean, obviously I'm from Sonoma County, but this just gave me a whole new perspective on where my food comes from and a whole new appreciation for the process, which I have always been passionate about food, but this really kind of reawoke that in me and made me start thinking about maybe there was a future for me in food. And so that's kind of where the idea started growing of just me working in food versus going back to my public relations job full time. So then I ended up back in the United States in, let's see, 2018, I think, ended back up in Petaluma. And here I was like, okay, where do I go from here? So I actually just started baking bread for fun employment purposes, just to kind of get my hands in something. If you've ever baked bread, you would know that it's super nerdy and you can just like take it to a whole new extreme with like how into it you really get. So that's kind of where I ended up. And then there happened to be an artisan bread school very close to my home. And so I started apprenticing there and had a really great friendship with the master baker that ran the school, and learned a lot of lessons from him and really got to like dig into his experience, and he became my mentor. I was also able to rub elbows with a lot of incredible bread bakers that came through the school to teach. And so I just soaked it all up. And then comes the pandemic in March 2020. I had been working a freelance PR job and that dried up. The school shut down, so that stopped. And then I found myself doing literally nothing. And I was like, okay, where do we go from here? So my business actually just started, not really officially as a business at all, but as a response to friends and family requesting that I start baking bread and selling it to them because they couldn't find anything good at the supermarket. The shelves were empty.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And the at the time when everything started, the retail bakeries were closed. So you couldn't even go to a bakery to pick up some food or bread or whatever it was. So I just started with some like basics, some bagels, some pizza crusts, some, loaves here and there. And the response was so positive. I mean, the first time I opened officially, I think I had like 10 orders, and it was like every people I knew. So I was like, oh, okay, sure, whatever. And then as the weeks went by, there was a really positive response. And then people that I didn't know started coming into the picture and ordering from me. And I was like, okay, maybe there's something to this. Maybe I can formalize this. And so that's where Pane Vero was born, really.
I'm
Yeah.
glad you pronounced it.
So it's actually Italian. It's actually, there's a play, it's kind of an interesting name. So Pane di Vero translates to true bread in Italian. And because Italy played such an important role in kind of like my reawakening and passion around food, I wanted to kind of do a tribute to that. Also, my name is Veronica, and my nickname since like I've been born is Vero. So it's like Vero's bread, like it loosely translated.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect compliment. Well, if you're just tuning in, you're listening to Veronica Herico of Pane de Vero, and that is in Petaluma. And this is KGUA in Walala 88.3 FM. We are streaming around the world at kgua.org and on apps Radio Garden and TuneIn, and our own app, Air Pocket, which is on our website. You'll see it where you click listen live. This is Peggy's Place. I'm Leanne Lindsay, your host today, and I'm going to be running the station for the next few days as Peggy Berryhill is going to be recouping from knee surgery. So we are going to be now going back to talk to Veronica now about this wonderful business that just snowballed during the pandemic. It grew, and she does do delivery to Sonoma County residents. Now, not quite as far up as our Sea Ranch or Timber Cove communities, unless, right, that there's a special order or event that you might be able to deliver to that. But
Yes, yes.
what is your whole scope of where you deliver?
So right now, the focus is Sonoma and Marin counties. When we first started, we were kind of just everywhere because I was like, I want to help everyone wherever. But then economically, that didn't make the most sense. So we kind of specialized.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So we kind of specialize to Sonoma and Marin counties for now. The majority of our customers are based out of Petaluma and Santa Rosa, I would say at this point.
Really?
Yeah, I think I have gone as far as Bodega Bay. I have a customer in Bodega Bay who's like a regular, so I'll go out there sometimes. And yeah, I mean, if there's like a special event and someone really wants our bread, I will figure out a way to get it to them if they're, within my reasonable driving radius.
Well, let's talk now about some of your breads and what you create, because you've got a wide variety. I noticed all the photographs and it just made my mouth water with all the different things that you were showing. So let's start talking, describe some of the ways that you put things together and what you create.
Absolutely. So first things first, one of my missions is like just to educate people on making better choices about what they put in their body. So as a rule, I make sure that my products have 20% or more whole grains included in them. Just because, I feel that you can eat something absolutely delicious, but it can still not be terrible for you. So finding the balance between those two things is really important to me. And so, yeah, I make traditional loaf breads with levain, so sourdough. But I also love to play, and I don't like to pigeonhole myself to one thing. So I experiment a lot. And like I mentioned, I got to rub elbows with a lot of different styled bakers over my time volunteering at the school. So that has also inspired me to try things that are outside of my culture or outside of what, my normal bread would look like. So that's like Bavarian pretzels and focaccia bread, but focaccia bread made with flours that people aren't typically used to eating them as. So I love to make rye. I love to make rye focaccia bread, which is like not that common at all. Yeah, but it's actually delicious. And so, I play with a lot of different flours. I make pastries with 55% whole grains in them, and croissants, and I just started delving into cookies recently that also contain whole grain flours like rye, spell, durum, things like that. I just love to play and experiment and just kind of put my own spin on things. More of the staple things that we make are like bagels and pizza crusts, because people actually love those. They're like these par-baked pizza crusts that you literally just throw into the oven with whatever toppings you want.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. And then you have like gourmet pizza in like 15 minutes and you really didn't work that hard. So like people are a big fan of those.
I would be too if you did start to
yeah. Here. Absolutely.
Yeah. But it's interesting. You talked about connecting with other bakeries too. And we do have a couple of great bakeries along our coast as well.
Yes.
Might be good to get connected with them. One is Two Fish Bakery starting down in Stewart's Point. Then right here in Wallala, I mentioned earlier in the opening comments, Sweet Life Bakery, and they do vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free kind of things. And then you have Pelican Bread up in Point Arena. And this owner and baker actually grinds his own flour.
Yes,
so he has an amazing array of different types of flours that he works with too. I'm spacing on his name right now, but it's called Pelican Bread. and you can find them on Facebook. But anyway, you collaborate with different people and you learn different techniques, and you never know where that will lead to. So going back to, so you got your pizza crusts, and you've got your bagels, and you've got your different kinds of breads that you do, correct? And donuts as
Yes.
well. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So donuts are seasonal, and actually that all started because well, they're much older, but they're kind of like mentors to me. They own an apple ranch in Chileno Valley, which is technically, they're right over the Marin County line. And they do an apple orchard every year. And I got involved with that community a few years back when I first got back from my travels, and just loved it so much. And then as I started my business, they were like, well, can you create something for apple season? Like, people keep asking us for apple cider donuts. And at the time I had like never made a donut myself, never had an apple cider donut. It's very popular on the East Coast, if anyone listening is from there. So I was like, okay, sure. So that was just an experiment that actually started last year in the fall of last year. And everybody just went crazy for those things. Like I was in shock. Yeah. So it's like a tradition now whenever, and we're doing it this year too. And we're in the middle of apple season. So I have been like shipping donuts out to them like every Sunday that they're open, so that they can try and sell those to the customers and everything.
So you ship as well then?
Well, no. Shipping as in like I get my partner to drive them out to the ranch. Yeah. We're very grassroots here.
And so tell our audience how people can get in touch with you if they want to find out more and they want to possibly do a big event. Where would they get in touch with you? And, we do have a lot of listeners in Santa Rosa and south to San Francisco online. So the people that are listening on the stream can find out as well. Go ahead.
Absolutely. So you can reach us via our website. It's www.panedevero.com. You can also reach me via email. I have my email listed up on the website. If you do have an event coming up and you want a special order, if you just want to talk about like what we can make, I like to customize things. So, we can discuss that over email. You can also find me on social. We have a Facebook page, and we have an Instagram page. So many ways to get in touch.
Of course, you're from the PR business. You know how to do that.
To a degree, but once you're running a business, it's like, oh my gosh, I should probably post something on Instagram. I haven't done it in a few weeks, but you wear so many hats, you get so busy.
I understand completely.
Yeah.
So how did you come about getting the grant from SIA Whiskey? And I said SIA, but it's called SIA Whiskey, correct?
SIA, yes. Okay. Yes, SIA Whiskey.
Like
SIA Scotch whiskey.
Like the singer Sia from Australia. She's
yes. Actually, I actually just found out that it's a Gaelic term, I believe. Yeah. So because the founder got a lot of inspiration from Scotland and that area, so there's some significance there. I cannot remember what it translates to, but I know that there's a meaning behind it as well, which is funny because our name, it's very similar, European origins, inspiration. But yeah, so I follow Hello Alice, which is a platform that caters to small business owners. And I was notified about this grant that was really focused on multicultural entrepreneurs, which I checked that box. Right. And when I read the story of the founder, I saw that it aligned very closely to my own personal origins. She is a Latina founder. Her parents came from Cuba and made a life here. And she, my father came from the Philippines and my mother came from Puerto Rico. And there were a lot of similarities in our path to entrepreneurialism. So I just was like, oh my gosh, this really fits and might as well give it a try. Never in a million years did I actually think that I would get it, because I think there was over like 6,000 applicants across the US. So I was very pleasantly surprised when I found out that I was one of the 25 recipients. The amount of money is really incredible. It's $250,000. It's like $250,000 split between 25 recipients. So we each get $10,000. But as a small business owner, $10,000 can go such a long way, which is really incredible. The other really cool thing about the grant, Entrepreneurial Spirit Fund, is it comes with business mentorship from the founder of CO Whiskey. So Karin is her name, which, I mean, at this stage, when you have access to mentorship of someone who's been running a company and kind of understands the growing pains that come along with it, I mean, that's super invaluable. So I am looking forward to it.
Now, have you received the grant yet, or it's coming in?
No, so this is all very new still. We were just all notified within the last like 3 weeks. So I think the money should be, we'll be receiving the money sometime in like this month. But yeah.
Well, congratulations. You're very deserving. You're a hard worker. You learned how to pivot during the pandemic, figure out what you could do, and that was to start this bakery. And I know that there's a few pops in the sound right now. I can't figure out if it's coming from the headset or what, but we had this before, so I'm going to ignore it because we got just a few more minutes to go here, and I wanted to have you talk again about how people can get in touch with you, what the name of the place is, and what you deliver. Thank you.
Absolutely. So the name of the business is Pane di Vero. We deliver all kinds of artisan style breads to your doorstep. Everything is done via online on the website, which is www.panedivero.com. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram. We do every other weekend. I open up a pre-order form. It's actually open right now, but it's about to close because we're about sold out at this point. And so I'll open it up and offer delivery Friday and Sundays. And that's every other week. So and there's a lot of information about our schedules on our social pages and on the website. Mainly because I'm doing it out of my home. So I am limited in how much I can be, we don't have a commercial bakery space, but we work with what we have.
And I think your costs are lower too, if doing
yes. Significantly. And so that plays into the whole, like, starting from scratch, and just when you open up a bakery and you have a commercial space, you have a ton of overhead. And so coming into it, I had maybe $1,200 to put into this. And so it was like, okay, we're really grassroots. We're going to be like as conscious as possible about how we spend our budget and whatnot. But that in itself has been a fun adventure and some wonderful challenges.
And let's spell the name of your business out so that people
Absolutely.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so it's Pane, so Pane space the DI space Vero Vero.
And that is Veronica Herico. Did I pronounce your last name correct?
Herico, but that's okay, because all my life people have been pronouncing my last name like that.
Well, my first name is Leigh, and you can imagine the different kinds of pronunciations I'll get on that one.
I'm sure, like if you go to Starbucks, they write like Luann or something on your coffee cup,
or they call me League. No, it's not Lee. It's silent. Anyway, Veronica, it has been a pleasure having you on the show today here at KGUA in Walla. And we would like to have you come back at some point again. Give us an update on how things have been going with your business.
Absolutely. I'd love to.
All right, Veronica Herico of Pane di Vero.
Well, yes, you nailed it.
In Petaluma. Thanks for listening. This has been Peggy's Place. We're going to continue now with Counterspin. Have a great day, Veronica. We're going to say goodbye now to you and to our
Bye. Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye. Take care. All right. And we are going to go now into a version of Counterspin for the rest of the hour.